I want to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Coastside County Water Board. And ask you all to have a roll call.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Reynolds,
Yes.
Vice President Mueller,
Here.
President Feldman.
Yes. Okay. Pledge of allegiance.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
You always go be amen. No, I did. I pray. I don't know. See, I pray. Yeah.
Any public comment? No green sheets, no people on there with their hands raised. So looks like we can segue into our meeting. Before that, I just want to say that it's tough having to take over the follow-up act to Jeff and Glenn here and take over because he did such an outstanding job for us last year. And so I hope I live up to his example going forward. Thank you.
It's a team effort. We look forward to your leadership being the usual exemplary leadership.
Okay, item number 4. Consent calendar. Any items on the calendar that any of the directors wish to discuss or take off for discussion, or can I have a motion to accept it?
I reviewed the claims
Oh,
and I found all to be in order, and I would make a motion to accept the consent calendar and the claims as presented.
I will second it.
Okay. Okay, no discussion and roll call please.
Okay, Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Reynolds,
Yes.
Vice President Mueller,
Aye.
President Feldman.
Yes. Okay. Meetings attended and direct comments. Do we have any meetings and direct comments?
Yeah, I'd like to. I attended a strategic planning
Me too.
session. I think many of us were there. And I just would like to really compliment Mary, Jeff, Lisa, Gina Argentina. That thing was wonderful. I mean, I've been involved in the district for far too long, I'm sure many people would say, but I've never had an experience where I felt there was more information shared. There was clear organization of what we were trying to accomplish or potentially accomplish. That was more clearly stated in paper and in verbal communication. I honestly and truthfully I've been doing a lot of these things where we hire some outside consultant to come in and we end up with a sheet of paper that, we file somewhere. And we ended up with a game plan for this district for at least 5 years. Maybe it's going to be 10. And I think we have incredibly clear ideas where we want to go. I was sad that there were no members of the general public, but I thought that it was very direct, individual, intuitive, and I just walked away from it. I mean, outside of those amazingly those homemade muffins, those pumpkin muffins, and that incredible fruit platter, which now is the best continental breakfast bar for me. But I learned so much and I enjoy it so much, and it's a real tribute to the quality of the management and the quality of the leadership in the field. That whole event was like amazing. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Just to follow up, Mr. Chair, I think you stated it, but it was probably better than any professional could have put it together the way all of you did that. So Thanks for that.
The comments,
Yeah, so reporting on the Boston meeting, I'll give you a preview, because I'm going this Thursday. They fall in the same week this week. It's a busy week for four meetings. Couple things. So here we sit, January 13th. And we're already now with the brief period and the response to briefs relative to the 12-year river negotiated settlement. Sitting here, like I said, January 13th, we're already talking 27. So this is going to go on forever. And certainly, I would agree. Some good things did come up. And Patrick, close your ears, but I'm really sick and tired of paying legal. I would far rather be paying a lobbyist. You know, we need to get this done in Sacramento. And I know for a fact, I know the biggest lobbyist to ever come out of Sacramento, a personal drinking buddy of mine. We pay exorbitant medical fees because of his great work for Anthem Blue Cross. He got shit done in Sacramento. The lawyers aren't getting anything done. We need to really change strategy and really get some horsepower behind this, because us 4 or 5 original Bosco members, we're going to keel over before this thing is done. So it's really disappointing to hear it's been shut out at 7 now. We're also going to talk about settling up our unfunded PERS. And we haven't really talked about that here, but we want to kind of retire our unfunded portion. So we have three tracks that we're going to discuss of how quickly we want to retire the unfunded portion. So that should be really interesting, because I'm sure that's an issue here also.
well, we're glad you keep on top of,
Yeah,
I just want to make it clear to the public that he's talking about Bosca
yeah.
right now. Because it wasn't.
Yeah, sorry.
Drifted a bit, and it was us and we, and it's really Bosca that he's referring to and who he coordinates for us with. And I think he's making the comment that this thing really has to get done by them, and it's getting more and more.
Until we have a
frustrating.
settlement,
Sure.
we don't know, we don't have a sure source of water. Should we get into a real drought
Right,
scenario? And that's really highly critical. And the fact that this can just have been,
right.
20 plus years I've been on Bosca. It can just keeps getting kicked down the road.
Okay, well, let's hope you help them. Let's hope you help them and get it kicked in
Yeah.
the right direction
All right,
and report
thanks.
some good stuff going forward. Glenn, any comments?
I think the only thing I'd say at this point is I want to thank Chris for his time at Bosca. I don't know if everybody caught this, but in the San Francisco PUC report, the list of reservoirs, all the reservoirs are in about 80% or better, except one. And it's ours. It's the Pilarcitos Reservoir is at 56%.
By design, yeah.
Oh, I know it is, but it means that we're gonna have, we're gonna have challenges
Yeah.
headed our way, and they may play out for years, but
I'm sure we'll be hearing about that going forward, if I understand from our previous meeting yesterday.
yeah, when is that?
We will be hearing from SFPC.
Only March.
So,
Oh, March.
yeah, that's on the agenda for discussion. It's
It's
not,
by design.
not on today.
Oh, no, I know it's by design, very, very aware, but that design is gonna
Good point.
cost us money.
Well, we have
And
to
our
wait to
team
hear
needs
the,
to be braced financially.
Mary's gonna have us briefed with Steve Ritchie, et cetera, so
Yeah.
we need to have an update. I agree with you.
We
Good-
should have a
good
rough
point.
ducky releasing or something.
The other item, anything else on the strategic planning session? I
Yeah, it's
second
great.
Ken's word
Yeah,
and John's. I think it was an excellent session in that we're pleased to have the time to do it and get together, and I think it'll have an impact on our plans going forward and on our approach to various of our key areas of interest based on the intent and the priorities we set. That's the most important thing, is really get us all pointed in the same direction with the same intent and with the same enthusiasm and energy. So that's good. Thanks. Nothing else for director comments? It Next thing on the
We need
agenda.
to move to approve the
Oh,
consent.
good, I'm sorry. We're on the consent calendar?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Oh, we already-
You were doing meetings attended.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We don't have to prove that.
Okay.
That's okay. I'll approve everything. Then we can argue about yay or nay or yes or
It's a
no.
team effort, Ken. We got your back.
Okay,
What it was great.
next thing on the agenda is, Mary is gonna, oh, I'm sorry. Jeff is going to, talk to us, and introduce the financial audit.
Yes.
2025.
And each of you have a presentation that Jonathan Abadesco from our audit partner will lead us through in just a moment. Very briefly, I want to steal too much of your thunder, Jonathan, but again, we have to think on it. And that's the fundamental message I want to relay. And that happened as a result of a lot of work from staff, Mary in particular, Nancy Trujillo, who's involved with our financials every month. And there's a focal point for coordination with our audit partners during the audit process, and Jean in Brazil as well. So we have great results because we have some really very capable people driving this process. And I should say, Jonathan, too, we appreciate the partnership with Jeff Palmer and Cosmo Brown. They are extremely helpful as we move through our process. So please convey our appreciation to them as well. And with that, I'll pass it along to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks for those. Yeah, thanks for those kind words, Jeff. And can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so good evening to everybody. My name again is Jonathan Abadesco, partner in charge for the audit, and I'll be here to present your financial statements for 2025. So professional guidance that we follow is governed by AICPA's auditing standards, and I believe the district has some grants during the year, so we always follow the federal and state requirements that needs to be addressed. Also, when we do perform our audits, we follow the accounting principles established by Governmental Accounting Standards Board. Audit process that we abide by. We first start our audit for the interim by assessing your controls. We gain and understand any changes that we have noted. So once we have ascertained that there's no issues whatsoever, we perform a test of controls, meaning we select a handful of transactions from receipts, disbursements, cash, and payroll to test if your controls are being followed and is operating as effectively as possible. So once we have performed our risk assessment, we dive into our next phase of our field work, which is to audit the district's trial balance provided by Jeff and Mary. Yeah, to our team headed by Jeff and our staff. Also, as part of our audit, we do consider the risk of fraud when we perform our audits. We always abide by the rule of professional skepticism, meaning we don't just file the stuff provided to us. We do audit them by making sure that we question everything that was presented to us. And also, we perform an interview of one of our board members and the key management team headed by Mary and Jeff. On page 1 of your auditor's report, we have issued an unmodified or clean opinion where the district's financial statements is indeed in accordance with U.S. accepted accounting principles. So overall, the word unmodified means clean opinion. So there's no issues whatsoever with our audit. So I believe there's also a management report in your board packet, which signifies that there's no material weakness or fraud or any significant deficiencies or non-compliance with the district following its protocols, processes, and guidelines. So on page 5 of your report is your net position statements, which you can see at the bottom right corner. The district has an increase in net position of $2.7 million, which I will explain in the next slide. So the $2.7 million was brought about by a increase of your revenue over expense plus the increase in your capital contribution, and so far there's been zero during the year. So overall, you have a $2.7 million change in net position. Also, in this slide, you could see that your overall revenue, it went up by $2.3 million, which can be attributed to an increase in your water consumption sales during the year. And also, part of this revenue is an increase in your non-operating revenue of $470,000, which consists of an increase in your transmission and storage fees that are related to the purchase of water connections for the Stone Pine Affordable Housing Project. Also included in your non-operating revenue is an increase in your investment returns by $86,000 and property taxes going up by $37,000. Your expense went up by $2.1 million, which can be attributed to an increase in your G&A expense, pumping, transmission and distribution of around $1.06 million, which are included in this bucket, the $1.5 million, which consisted of CSP or Crystal Springs Pump Station production of $400,000, increase in your repairs and maintenance, and G&A personnel cost, insurance expense going up by $86,000, and professional fees of legal, engineering, and computer services by $300,000. Also included in this bucket is an increase in your source of supply or water purchases of $440,000, which goes hand in hand with your increase in your water consumption sales. And also part of this increase is the increase in your non-operating expenses of $500,000, which are brought about by increases in your interest expense and disposal loss of assets of $100,000.
What does that mean in my
Us-
language?
So
Loss
that
on
means that
disposition of
us,
asset,
yeah, so
$160,000.
that means that the district incurred some when you dispose your assets, there's been some loss, meaning that means that the proceeds from the assets incurred a loss.
Excuse me, Jonathan, one moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is primarily related to when the water tank, our HMB #1 water tank, it was probably 15 years ago, it was rehabbed and there were expenses and we were depreciating those expenses. So it wasn't fully depreciated when we tore it down. And so the remaining depreciation was 160,000, or remaining of the value of the asset. It wasn't fully depreciated.
So we didn't sell it at a loss. We just ripped it up and threw it away, right?
And also in that bucket, are the fees that we incurred with the issuance of the COPs,
Yeah.
the cost of issuance and interest expense for them.
Any idea what the split is on that?
So, yeah.
It's a
COP, the cost of issuance was 243 grand. And the interest associated with those 5 months worth was 130,000.
I thought you meant the 160 was split between those two.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I misunderstood.
My comment was in
Again.
addition to what Gary said.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. Thanks, Jeff, for the detailed explanation.
So do we get to ask questions now?
Now if you're a gold star,
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so
cue the speech. Cue the kid's speech.
Okay,
Watch.
so overall, I can say that the district did a great job in providing us all the information that we need for the audit. And again, a great audit year for district staff and management, for making sure that things are in proper order and there's proper checks and balances when we assess those controls. Any questions from the board and
is
management?
he able to take down the graphic and
Yeah.
see him?
Yeah.
Is he able to show, see, can we talk?
He's in his pajamas.
You in your pajamas? Jonathan?
Actually, I'm in my clothes right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still wearing, even if I'm at home, I'm still,
He's actually there.
I think that's Dragnet.
yeah.
All right, well, yeah, it's good to see you anyway. That's nice. That's better. Now we have someone to communicate with, and you have a question, please.
So Jonathan, year after year for 30 years, I just wonder, can you unequivocally say the district is doing a fantastic job managing the finances and reporting them in a totally transparent and open and competent way, meeting all requirements that would ever be expected of financial managers? I mean, is this like 1 gold star, 2 gold stars, 3 gold stars? Like, are we on the cutting edge of a great job here? Of
No, you
financial
never did a
management?
great job.
Because I would say, if I would compare the district with other agencies that we have audited, it's one of the model districts that is always on top of stuff, being transparent, able to deliver proper guidance to its communities, and making sure that the things are being in place in proper order, as always.
So can you issue a statement, great job? This is a well done, or,
I think he's done what he
I
can.
mean, I see the pages. that
I think he's done all he can, clean and unmodified clean, that's good. And the finance, that's how they do it, that's the law and the regulations say that's how you do it. And no material weaknesses, that's good, those are good, we gotta be happy,
We've
man.
heard that for years.
Yeah.
We want
The
to
question
hear
is,
the other one.
are we doing it continuously on an even keel? Yes. And that makes it even better, but that doesn't, each year is a new year. You can't count what you've done in the past. That doesn't matter. It's all the present. So we're doing good. I think we're doing good, and we have to take it as, it's not said that way. Is that a reasonable way to look at this?
Yes, and probably the district is always fortunate to have a great board and
Yeah, right. And we have.
have a great team in Mary, and with the addition of Jeff, it further solidifies the
His
district.
summary of costs for 25, the endpoint with the weakness, the overrun, suspiciously looked like the report that was produced in the fourth quarter for the final accounting report. Looks familiar. So it says what we see each quarter is probably true. And that we're seeing the facts. And he's doing is what he's doing, he's confirming that. And so it makes me feel really good now when I see that, to know that's, we're getting it straight out and it's straight up. That's why I think this is cool, because he showed it in a way that made me relate to that fourth quarter financial summary that we get. Looks very, very much like what we've seen already. That's personally my opinion. So
Thank you. Just a quick question. We all drive by it every day, and I'm wondering if SFPUC completes the repair on Piloshitas Reservoir, we would be saving a lot of money from Crystal Springs Pump Station.
is that,
Just a,
that's a separate,
yeah,
is that an audit issue?
well, because it's 400,000.
No, I know, but that's a different, that's like a mirror.
Okay, I don't. mean
That's a staff issue or part of it.
Yeah.
Project based, that's nothing to do with the audit. He doesn't.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
For electricity.
Sure, pumping out.
No, those are operational issues that we need to talk to.
I try to tell the public what's going on with us pumping out of the bottom lakes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You
Thank
can do
you.
that during the operational discussion. if-
Right.
Is that,
Yeah.
because we have an audit.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Chris or Glenn,
No,
on
it's
the audit?
25 years, getting pretty used to these.
Okay. So, want to say well done to the board,
Yeah.
to the staff, Mary and Jeff and the gang who have, Nancy, all who have kept their eye on the ball for us and pulled it off again, and will continue to do so going forward. And Jonathan, for your input and your hard work in presenting this in a very concise manner, by the way. It's the easiest way I've seen it that I can remember. It's very simple to understand this way without having to go through the actual report itself, I thought. So thank you for the format.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again tonight, and I appreciate again, your support and for providing us the documents, and this audit, this clean audit won't be possible without your great team. So, really a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Do you have a staff recommendation to accept the audit? So maybe somebody should make a motion.
Can I have a motion to accept the audit?
I will move to accept the audit that was presented before us this evening, January 13th, 2026.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Want to call the roll, please?
Director Coverdale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Reynolds,
Yes.
Vice President Muller,
Aye.
President Feldman.
Yes. Okay, good job. Okay.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Okay, bye-bye. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda for the approval of a recommendation for services by EKI. Mary, do you want to take that one?
Yes, and John Sutter has joined us also tonight, so. So back in August 2024, the district contracted with EKI for a package of designs for Alcatraz Avenue, Santa Rosa Avenue, and Ocean Colony pipeline replacements that we thought we could bundle and do together. And the result was that we had a completion of 90% designs for these projects. But now, as we are moving forward, staff would like to alter the assumptions and arrange for a design of Alto Avenue. Then the district would then package Alcatraz Avenue, Santa Rosa Avenue, and Alto Avenue together as projects because they're all located in the Miramar area. So the Alto Avenue project actually involves replacing 880 linear feet of 4-inch cast iron pipe with new 8-inch ductile pipe, and replacing existing service lines and meters on Alto Avenue, and replacement of hydrant So one of this project is actually will take place below the Miramar tank. And will provide the neighborhood below the tank with adequate fire flows in the event that the Miramar tank needs to be taken out of service for maintenance in the future. So it's a very important project for us, and we'd like to get done sooner than later. And in addition to with this design, with the amount of 66,000, it's repackaging the design work so we can go out to bid on these projects together, and EKI would provide the bid support services. And also this amount includes the engineering services during construction. So you have questions, and John Sutter is here to answer.
Any questions, Ken?
Well, it shows a 2-inch galvanized line of Burisma, but hasn't that been changed?
This
That's
is
what it says on the plan.
Yeah, that it's no longer galvanized. That's HDPE. Sorry, that was an older version of the map.
So is that part of the cost of updating these packages?
No. Updating the GIS, yeah, that's included.
Oh, good. You'll include that designation. That's significant for some of us that might live along.
Mhm.
I might not be able to talk about that, shall I leave the room?
Within
I am,
1,000 feet.
that's me.
So, but that, you're talking about Alto, right?
Yeah, but if you look in the map over here, that shows Burisma, that's right.
So is the project within, is the Alto project within 1,000 square feet of 1,000 feet of Burisma? I can't tell from
I
looking
think
at
I
the
gotta
map.
walk out of here.
Let me
Yeah,
measure
because
real quick.
Alto connects to Burisma.
We're on Burisma.
On that whole thing.
It's on Miramar Drive, right?
Out of here.
Yeah, if it's within 1,000 square feet, that's.
So I gotta go out.
Yeah, we're all gonna vote no.
You gotta realize.
Okay, so
I don't
let the
want any
record
of you
reflect
approved.
that Director Coverdale lives
Well, I'm
within
not allowed to say that.
1,000 square feet of the project, and so.
That's the ultimate job. That we're voting.
It does appear to be within 1,000.
Yeah,
He's that triangle right
that's
there.
Okay, so he has to have some
And
time.
Alto's 1,000
He
feet.
doesn't recuse himself from the vote. He has to be.
Yeah, he left the room, so
So
he's.
These block,
He can't pay a lot of vote.
these lots are
Okay.
100 feet deep.
So
400,
other
800, yeah, so it could be 800 feet.
comments?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve it. The amendment. Do I need to read it more concisely?
Yeah.
I can read the whole thing. Authorize general manager to enter into amendment of professional service agreement with EKI Environmental and Water, Inc. Dated January 10th, 2024 for an additional engineering service for Alcatraz Avenue, Santa Rosa Avenue, and Alto Avenue pipeline replacement project for $66,000.
Okay, do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any other comments? Okay, please call the roll.
Okay, Director Coverdale? Oh, sorry. So do I put that he?
Director Coverdale's absent. Because he left the room.
Okay, Director Michelson?
Yeah.
Director Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Long?
Aye.
And President Feldman?
Yes. Okay,
So it was
so
approved 4-0 with Director Coverdale absent. And
Thank
we
you
now
for-
invite Director Coverdale back into the room.
He's eating cookies. It's totally unfair. I want to get excused for cookie breaking. The continental snacks.
Thanks for the snack.
Did we have a motion?
yeah, we did. It's all-
Thank you. I was,
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all passed.
yeah, good job.
We're done.
Thank you.
Item C, approval of professional service agreements with EKI Environmental and Water Inc. Capital and Project Management and as needed engineering service. Mary?
Yeah, so Since fiscal year 2018-2019, EKI has provided the district with as-needed engineering support, CIP management, planning expertise, and hydraulic monitoring services. So their expertise has really proved to be invaluable, particularly as the district CIP is 69 million and likely growing. So over the years, since 2018, the district has budgeted $100,000 annually with EKI. And the $100,000 in services has typically covered EKI's expenses for more than 12 months. This past $100,000 lasted 14 months. So the staff recommends the district continue to utilize EKI services and John Sutter and his expert team in the upcoming year.
Well, I like working with EKI. So I'd like to authorize the general manager to retain the professional services of EKI, Environment and Water, Inc., for capital project management and as-needed engineering support, including hydraulic modeling for 12 months for a not to exceed budget of $100,000.
A second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any other, okay, have a roll call, please.
Okay, Director Coverdale.
Yes.
Director Michelson.
Yeah.
Director Reynolds.
Yes.
Vice President Muller.
Aye.
President Philman.
Yes. Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Oh, Jonathan, thanks, sorry. Jonathan, thanks for hanging there.
See
Appreciate it.
you again.
We'll see you, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't know how to spell his name to put it on our 700.
Such a great guy.
We had two Jonathans tonight. Somebody knows. That's amazing. What's the likelihood
Two Jonathans?
of two Jonathans at the same time on Zoom? Quarterly financial report, turn it over to Mr. Schneider.
Thank you, Director Feldman. We're going to summarize our results through December 2025. We have several key elements in this report. One is that, as we've talked about several times, our volumes, our water sales volumes are below last year, below budget, and that is driving negative variance versus budget and the top line operating revenue. Love sold. Me too. Non-operating revenues are offsetting that a little bit, and we've identified which items are contributing there. The work that Mary completed with regard to water recycling program study, non-budgeted $88,000 right to the bottom line. So thankful for that. We're favorable on ERAF, and we receive our next ERAF payment in January, and we expect that to be favorable too. So good news on that front. Interest income, we're 48 grand favorable thus far this year, but that's going to be a challenge for us as we move forward. Interest rates, as you know, are dropping. LAIF is slowly moving down. It's at 4% now. We earn about 2.7% now on our checking account and our money market fund. That's been dropping with the work of the Fed. So we'll see some a decline in the favorability in that line item. And then property taxes are favorable as far by modest amount. On the expense side, because of our reduced water usage and the management of Sean and Darren and their teams, we're favorable in SFPUC spend this year, $476,000. We're also favorable year to date in salary and benefits. That number will not continue at that level as we have hired. We brought on a customer service specialist in October, and we have had two maintenance workers. We've talked about this in our discussion about the org chart. We just made two temporary maintenance workers permanent. We've budgeted those positions with operators, and so we'll have some favorability moving forward, but it won't be at this level as we move through the rest of the year. And we've saved money largely as a result of not using Crystal Springs Pump Station as we've in the budget. So 133 grand in PG&E savings there. And then we have some dogs and cats that amount to about $120,000 in the rest of the accounts. We don't have any material variances in our operating expense line items. So bottom line is we're $312,000 favorable through the year, through December. As far as our cash balances are concerned, we're at 13,128,000. Life is 7.7 million of that number. The other accounts, money market and checking account, et cetera, are 5.4. We've spent 7.1 million through the first 6 months of the year on CIP projects. The vast majority of that being related to the tank project at 6.1 million. And then we've identified the other projects spending through December for this fiscal year. So that's our report. I'll stop now to take any questions about your comments. Yeah.
Do you expect the positive balance to continue? Or are we going to hit a point at which the lack of revenue isn't offset by short spending?
Yeah, Mary and I have engaged in we haven't presented this to you folks yet, but in an update back to our forecast. And we do expect to see a little decrement versus the budget for the balance of the year, but it's just something we're effectively managing, right? We're trying to acknowledging the fact that our volumes are flat to down. And so that's our view is we're still going to be 4 million plus for the year, we think. But again, we're going to watch that. And thus far, the decrement or the variance in operating revenues is significant, and it is overshadowing the savings that we have from the SLPUC side of things too. So we're going to have to be careful.
But any kind of guess, $500,000 or 200,000, and just a
versus budget, not $500,000.
oh,
It'd be less than that.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I say that, and we're still working.
Well, of
through
course,
it.
no, I'm not expecting to hold you to it. I just,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of nice to get a feeling.
Yeah.
In case we got to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're holding the line because our expenses are under control, really. I mean, it's for our ability to really hold that and actually underrun the expenses. You know, could be a different story. That's number one. Number two, the biggest single thing that catches your attention in terms of out of sync is the water income. So I asked Mary, I mean, and it's something that we need to think about and not panic over yet, obviously. It's the elephant in the room that I see sometimes is we have the second year of our 3-year budget rate now in force. We have another budget coming up January 1st with the same rate. The question was simply, is there any likelihood that we would have to look at that and deal with it in some fashion going forward? And when would we maybe have to think about that? That was the question. I.e., yeah, we'll do okay this year. We'll probably get it through the hurdles. We have enough reserves and things, but we're still spending money at a high rate, much more than in the past. And I'm just wondering, is there some point, some alarm that's going to go off in some future month that says we better talk about the rates for next year, guys, and think about what we may or may not have to do. I'm just putting that out there because I'm always a little conservative when it comes to these things. And I just need to know your thoughts and when you think that might happen.
Well, I think we need to get through this the next 6 months and see how we're doing. I mean, one of the issues is that we had a really cool summer, and so we'll see what happens the rest of the year. And we're looking closely to how we manage expenses, manage using our local sources we can, and making sure that but I would say in the summer, look at it. We have another rate increase that's already in play for next January, but certainly if you wanted to do something with that, we want to work on it in the summer.
Cool.
Yeah, just asking.
Yeah, and for me, it's just sort of a heads up. I mean, I know I'm not at all worried about it. I think the way it's going looks great. You know, it'd be nice to sell more water.
Yeah.
Uh,
When we look at the non-operating revenue, it's like we had the one-off that we, the 88 grand that Mary brought in. And we have been favorable in interest, but again, the interest rates are not trending in, at least for this purpose, in the right direction.
Right.
So we have some things that are favorable thus far that we can't count on going forward.
I didn't see anything to worry about. I always like to talk about
Any comments, Glenn or Chris? No, okay. Good work. For the quarter, I guess, again, I mean, we still continue to do the right stuff and keep things under control, which is our job, and I can't, say too much about the efforts of the team here in making that happen. The people working out in the field doing this, finding ways to save money and keeping us whole, and just keep doing it.
And the team, Sean and Darren, are very cognizant of what we're talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely. Okay,
Mr. Chair, I have a brief comment. All the information I skimmed through, it looks like throughout the Bay Area, most of the districts are raising their water rates, for stability.
and they already are in the process of doing that.
Oh, yeah.
But we did 3 years because we felt comfortable that we could hold the line, and we've been doing it, and it's easier for us, and it's much more predictable for the public, and, it all works better. It makes it much more transparent. And so let's hope we can show that that was the right decision going forward, and I think we have a good shot at it, and we'll know more going forward at this point. Thank you. Other comments? No vote on that one, so we can go right off to the Review District Board Committee. Consider and approve appointments of board members to the Coastside County Water District Board Committees and appointments of district representatives from external organizations and associations. Consider and approve establishment of new advisory committees and external organizations representation, and that is Mary.
So, in January of each year, the board reviews the membership of the board committees and the appointments to external organizations. So I will give it back to you.
Okay, considering, and my opinion is at this point, that I would recommend or prefer or suggest that we hold on any changes. I'm okay with the way things are structured at this point, unless any of you were not and want to do something dramatic. But I know we had our strategic planning meeting yesterday, and we're still in the process of digesting some of the recommendations coming out, which may, in fact, modify to some degree the committee structure or even add some new ones. I would like to wait for that to be available before we make a final decision. If that's okay with you, maybe table it for the time being. I'm sorry.
I would actually like to discuss that a little bit.
Okay.
If you could.
Sure, no, please.
I think one of the most positive statements that came out of the planning session was the idea of the board being the political entity of the water district and us really trying to get more organized about political action, meaning how do we embrace the people that make decisions in our area? The county officers, the state officers, the various elected officials that might be able to help us in terms of potentially looking at financial resources or maybe some type of aid in terms of permitting, which might reduce our costs in building projects. And I thought one of the most interesting things that came out was the incredible quality and talent of two members of this board and their connections to the political environment. So whether we do it tonight or we wait a meeting or whatever, I actually really appreciate us having some kind of a political action standing committee. And I think that we have, Director Michelson has a lot of contacts for a long time. And I think he would be an excellent candidate for that. John Miller is, he's unheralded. Everybody knows this guy. And the wild thing is, it's not just local people that want to come buy a pumpkin, but, he knows a lot of heavy hitters in the state, in the county, in SFPUC, in the water world. And so I really think that the sooner we could have a meeting of those people talking about maybe some strategies or options or advantages or contacts, I think it'd be great. And I'm not gonna make a motion about it, and I appreciate what you're saying about let's.
No, that's a good point. I mean, I'm asked legal view on this in the sense of what's appropriate here. Can we do that now and then something else later? I mean, I'll get the sense of the board. And if they feel it's something that we want to jump on right now, then we'll jump on it.
I'll second Ken's suggestion, and I think humbly ask both board members if they'll do it, because I think Ken's spot on, and I think it's a really good recommendation, but I think we gotta get John and Ken and Chris.
So what's the process for us?
Yeah, so if I could chime in, what you have on your agenda is the review of the existing board committees, considering appointments, and then the consider an approval of new advisory committees and external organizations. I think I heard that the vision is to create a new standing committee, and that's something that the board should be thinking about. Do you want whatever you're thinking of as political action committee to be a standing committee, which means it would go on just like we've got 3 standing
Right.
committees right now? Or would it be an advisory committee, which would be for a specific purpose for a shorter period of time? And then there's key
Right.
differences between a standing committee and an advisory committee. A standing committee is subject to all the requirements of the Brown Act. So you need to do the agendas and open to the public. Advisory committees are not subject to the Brown Act. And so you wouldn't need to have them as open meetings. So this might be worth, there's not much in here about that. And so I'd recommend maybe the board think about that, and then President Feldman can coordinate with your general manager and me to decide how we would
Has to
put this
present-
on the
put the
agenda
agenda.
for
That's what I was,
a February
that's
board
part of
meeting.
my rationale for the strategic recommendations and how do we approach getting it where we want it to be, because this is not all walk in the park. You gotta watch out which way you do it. A committee has 3 people usually or 2.
It would, for the Brown Act, both standing committees and advisory committees will be 2 members, it has to be less than a majority, and board members only. So you wouldn't have any external
So
parties to be.
and we have to decide whether we want them to be Brown Act eligible or not. And do we want them always on there, or do we want them to be for special things? And so that's something we might want to consider, yeah.
So what I think is interesting is, I think that the president can appoint an advisory committee. And an advisory committee would just be the startup yak. And what I think is important about that is to start the process. And if these 2 gentlemen, for
Mhm.
example, have time, and they might be able to get together and say, hey, we were kind of thinking of maybe it wants to go this way, maybe it wants to go that way. So they could already come back to the next meeting and report to us sort of an idea, have time to talk to Mary, have time to talk to Patrick, time to talk to you if that's the way that's gonna go. But I think the sooner we get on it, the better. And the reason I feel that way is one of the things we were talking about was revenue. And I think that things like grants or things like governmental money coming just take so much time. And so if we at least had a sense, gee, I don't have time to do it. I don't really want to do it. Maybe someone else could do it, or these kinds of things. And in an advisory committee, it doesn't have to be noticed or Brown Act compliant.
What's the rule on the president appointment?
So
I don't know.
So it used to be that the president could make the appointments, but that changed
Oh,
under your leadership. I think it was in 2019 where the vision at that time was that the board would take action to approve the continuing existence of advisory committees or make any changes as well as the appointments.
hmm.
Under the current requirements, it does require board action.
Okay, so.
The board could change that.
But I'm looking
But
to.
for
I
the
think
last
that
like
Ken's
5 or
point
6
of,
years.
what the promptness is important, but I think if we plan to do this February and have a thing on the table to do what we want to do, we'll get it all sorted out, have it presented and make it happen. We'll make it either an advisory or a standing, whichever seems to be the most appropriate, and do it. I think we can make another 3 weeks without, but we know where we're going. These guys can start thinking about it and let us know if it makes sense to them and how they would like to make it be their thing. Is that what it is?
Well, thank you for thinking of myself and Chris, but I'm involved with the State Agricultural Education Foundation, and yearly we go to Sacramento and meet with all the elected legislators and staff, and that's coming up here in the next few weeks. So I'm gonna make time to go to that
Oh, that's okay.
this year.
That's
just
on a different committee.
because over the years, we've all known our elected state officials quite friendly. But the last few years, it's faded a little bit. And now coming up here in January, I believe.
Well, the charter of this political group
Yeah,
advisory is not limited. It will be whatever is felt to be appropriate to help us in a political sphere. So, but we need to do that formally at a meeting with the appropriate resolution. Is that correct, Pat?
Yeah, you don't need a resolution. It could be done by board motion, but you would want to be thinking about between now and February. I mean, it's okay to talk right now and see if there's interest, because if there's no interest from directors to do this, then you don't need to put it
I
over.
think there's that.
But if there is interest,
Yes.
then we should be thinking about, okay, advisory or standing, regardless of which committee, what its purpose is.
Right.
And that, if it's advisory, it's got to be specific, it's got to be temporary.
Okay.
So you want to be thinking
So
about.
advisory and ad hoc, are they the same?
Yeah, some people, directors who've been around a while, the Brown Act used to refer to it as ad hoc.
Yeah,
So you
okay.
hear about that all the time. Brown Act language has changed.
And the
now it's
president, I remember the president having the authority, because
Right.
that was the beauty of ad hoc, is that the president could
Just
put together, just do it.
Well, I like the advisory.
So we went back to,
Can we pass a motion tonight to go back?
Yes.
Yeah, so I move that we go back to ad hoc committee.
No.
so if we can agendize,
I've tried.
agendize the authority of the president to put together ad hoc committees on February, this could be resolved.
Yeah, so if you wanted to go back to your rules before, it used to be the president could create advisory committees. And the president could make the appointments to both standing and advisory committees. I believe that was your old rules.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to go back to that, if there's, hey, we want to think about that, then we can put that on the
Yeah,
agenda. for
that
February.
makes sense.
Or it could be limited to creating advisory committees and the composition of that, and then it still needs to come back to the board to approve the.
And there's single purpose, they can be dissolved, when they're stale or whatever. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Mary, staff will work with Pat to put together the suggestion Pat made about making it
I think we should ask the
President's-
question, John.
like it used to be.
John, are you up for this position?
It would be an honor, really. And as I said, over the years, going to the state capitol for the leadership program,
I think we have no objection.
they would probably ask me, what are you doing now? Because you're not on the regional board or you're not there.
No,
But I could say I'm on Coastside County Water District.
Great.
I'm not the mayor. And we are really doing all we can.
Lay the grass and then you. So it's clear. I have direction. I'll work
Okay,
with Mary to put something on the agenda
See
to
if
allow
I-
the board president to create.
As usual.
And revisit this then.
All right, we got that sorted out.
Okay.
I won't charge mileage. I'll go do it on
All right, look.
my own foundation.
Okay, we have instructions for this, thank you. Let's turn it into a lot more fun than we thought it would.
And then we will also come back to revisiting of the appointments to all these
Right.
committees at that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I think it's great. I just think we need to talk about
No, I agree with you.
Well, we got more talking to do, next chapter.
it. Good.
You guys did
Okay,
a great
well,
job.
that was
Great builder.
a point, of course, I would have just been one member represented alternative to participate in cemetery local agency coordination committee.
Try to get. the
So,
new sheriff.
Okay, Mary, is that yours?
Yeah, so annually, the board takes action in January to designate an alternate to participate in LAPCO's elections of officers in case the board president is not available. So past practice is to appoint the vice president, followed by the board members in order of seniority.
Perfect. I'm in
Perfect.
favor.
Do you want to make the motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion. I'd like to make a motion. We appoint the Coastside County Water District Board Member Representative Alternate to participate in cemetery local agency formation commission, election of officers, Pat, do I need to name what give the protocol that we're gonna do it as Mary said it? Yeah. Okay, do it.
As Mary said.
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Seconded it.
Ken did.
I meant it.
Director Coverdale.
Yes.
Director Michelson.
Yeah.
Director Reynolds.
Yes.
Vice President Mueller.
Aye.
President Feldman.
Yes. Okay. Next on the agenda.
Water district went up a hill and built a tank.
Project Hill Precast Concrete Tank and Seismic Upgrade Project Update number 15. Oh, wow. Time flies. 15. Mary?
Okay. So if you want to go down on the next slide, we are now 357 days into the construction of the tank project. So, so during December, much of Deanne's work happened inside the tank. And can you go on to the next? Sorry. But with the, we had the disassembly and off-hauling of various equipment and the shoring and things like the scissor lifts and things out coming outside the 4x8 hatch. And we also, the work included installation of the 16-inch HDPE pipe, inlet pipe inside the tank, and also the overflow funnel. We did the utility trench work and the directional drilling for the fiber optic communications line that the board approved in the last couple months. So all good. Go on to the next one. So as we're looking ahead, we've been working on tank appurtenances and getting the ladders and railings up and working and demobilizing, putting in the communications boxes and things. So we have good things looking ahead. This month, the real focus is on the yard piping. I don't know if you want to say anything about.
You covered it all. That's worked. Unless there's any questions.
Yeah. So we do have a number of pictures actually inside the tank, and you can see the scissor lift and that's the interior overflow pipe that's being put up, and the funnel is on the right hand corner. If you go to the next one, we're having a work, outside the tank in the bottom left-hand corner, you have the, that was with the directional drilling for the communications trench. Darren shared, and maybe you can share, you probably know that the pipe supports inside the tank on the right-hand corner.
Right.
Yes.
That's for the HDPE. It's the influent line on the previous slide. You can see where it's been installed. It's supporting the pipe as it goes, because it comes in on the side closest to the treatment plant and shoots all the way across and then goes up 23 feet.
Wow.
And that's where the water goes into the tanks.
Wow.
So then go to the next one. So here you can see more pictures inside the tank and see, that's the permanent ladder that will come out of the
It's a
inside the tank.
44-foot tall.
Wow. I'd be shaking about 22 feet.
Yeah. So, all good stuff. So,
All good stuff.
yeah. Any questions? And I would.
Yeah, my question was, my memory is not what it used to be. Getting worse all the time. Was the expected completion always go on? I thought it was, I
It's
think
more than-
earlier than that.
Yeah, it was more in the spring, hopefully.
And anytime there's a change order, they ask for an extension.
Now, what, it used to be May or something like that?
I think it was.
So it's Quell Creek, I mean, it's moving a little bit. I don't remember what the original date was, that's my.
Yeah.
What was the original?
I think it was just at 400 days and we're at 450 now, so we've added 50 days
Yeah, so it's probably.
Okay, see, I just-
in that
In
vicinity.
April, May timeframe.
So it's moved out a little.
Yeah.
Not significantly for the scope of this thing, but I just asked.
I think the expectation is there.
They won't be
They won't.
here.
They what? They will beat it?
They'll beat it.
Oh, so July is probably conservative at this point. Okay, well, let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And
It'll be full of
Good things
water
are
long
worth-
before.
Good things are worth waiting.
yeah.
Well, and the good news is we still have very few change orders, so.
Very few.
Change orders.
All right, no, I noticed that. I said that. Yeah, wow. Great.
I think you did a great job, staff, because in nautical history and Navy days, they're not called stairs, they're called ladder wherever there's water in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's called a ladder, not stairs.
Okay, so there's no motion or anything. Next one is, are
Okay,
you okay? Any other questions on the tank and like that and?
I want to hear about how we lost the truck in the wind.
No, that's next. Yeah, now we have some exciting stuff. Yeah, waive the procedure requirement for steel competitive bids. Not realize the general manager, Karen Newport, F-154, and I said to myself when I started, didn't we just get him another truck? What's with these guys? They're gonna have 2 trucks per person now or something? No, I'm kidding. I knew that the truck I did, but that was funny. Okay, Mary.
yeah, so during the Christmas Eve windstorm, our on-call operator had the car parked in front of his house. And a big tree branch fell and caved in the tap and basically totaled the truck.
Oh, my God, yeah.
The good news is he was not around and nobody was around, so there was,
That was good news.
it was, everybody's safe. But it was a big event and we are down the truck and it's difficult for our team to be down the truck. And so we're juggling and we have Sean has actually volunteered his truck during the time we're down the truck. So what we'd like to do, we're trying to find a truck that's in stock. And so the inventory is very low. We've gone out to 3 dealerships and we need, what we need to do, we can't order a truck and wait for months. We need to get the truck now. And so we would like the approval from the board to be able to go out and, we get a truck. We think we have some good, pretty good pricing. We have quotes on the 51 and 53,000 range. Our last truck for comparable truck is 49. And so we need to go, we want to go forward on this. We're actually should get a pretty big check from the insurance
I
company.
was gonna say, why are we buying this? Why isn't the insurance
No,
company?
the company, we got a
39
39,000 probably from the insurance company.
for a comparable truck.
Okay.
Well, how many miles were on the truck that he was driving?
Well, the good news is that was the truck we're gonna turn in.
So it's like an old Vita, right?
Off the record.
But we have replacement costs on our insurance.
Yeah.
The other thing is that this was another agency in town's tree, so there may be some also reimbursement to the insurance company on this, but
Thank
we're
God.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
this is a tree that was owned in city property.
Yeah,
So you may get something from.
The insurance is
city.
made
City.
our,
Well, no, what you're saying though, I mean, what we should clearly identify with the public is that we will be reimbursed for a large portion of this
exactly.
purchase. And so it's really just,
yeah.
we got to do this and, we have to pay price because of the urgency. And we may in some fashion be whole again after we finish with our insurance work, which is what we're doing.
And the other thing, we had budgeted for 2 vehicle purchases for the upcoming fiscal year. And so this will take care of one of them, so.
Okay.
Well, I personally looked at this And I think if it's a 4x4 F-150, 55,000 is a good price.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a bird in the hand.
I just
I
paid
mean-
70 grand for a utility crew truck for
Yeah.
4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's,
All
But
of it.
mine was white, so it's different.
so I'd like to move, we waive the procedural requirements for sealed competitive bids and authorize the general manager to procure a new Ford F-50 4x4 crew cab pickup for a not to exceed amount of $55,000.
I will second that.
Roll call, please.
Director Provodale,
Yes.
Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Bellman. Oops.
Good job.
Yes.
I'll say yes as well, just for record. No, she didn't ask me. She skipped me because she confused her.
Everybody voted? You
Yeah.
got that? Everybody got something? Okay, next thing on the agenda is general manager report.
Okay, this will be quick. Every year I like to report on our water smart activity and, it's such a great tool for us and we get, accolades from our customers. And so, so for the past year, we've had, 44% of our customers are, actually have a sign up on our web portal. And this past year, we sent out 777 alerts for leaks. So, and this is all being managed by Emma Rodriguez on our staff, and she's doing a great job. And so, and it's as I say, it's a great tool. So we're appreciative of the work.
That's good. That's 10%. Custom.
Yeah, and really, it's a little bit, if you have to realize, it's, Water Smart's really geared more for residential customers.
Right.
So it's not, we don't make such a push with other customers, so.
But there's a lot of people getting the advantage of that, just functionality.
Yeah.
That's great. No, that's a lot.
And save a lot of staff time too.
No, that's cool.
Calls. These are emails and
Oh,
it
great.
saves a lot of interaction.
Saves board time too.
Yeah.
Bill relief.
Okay.
We remember sitting here listening to people who could have had a leak for 59 days when they were
Exactly.
billing bi-monthly, and that was,
No, exactly.
well, there's some sad stories, some big bills.
Yeah, big bills. This is great. No, this is really, you added to the customers and also to us for the resource savings that it generates for us. So cool, good. So that's good news on the customer service side.
And then the other, we got what award this week, this year from Aqua JPIA for maintaining exceptionally low claim costs in the property insurance program.
That's
So,
before the truck.
Yes.
Well, and to be honest with you, I
That was,
was, I was putting water on for the chickens and I left it on and I was alerted by the officer that your water is flowing there. So.
Wow.
Well, I've been alerted too, yeah.
We're water world people, we should know better than that.
Hydroponic chickens, here we go. We appreciate your
But
contribution.
the
Okay, good.
bottom line, 800 of them, so we have no more chickens.
No.
They came in and ate all our chickens.
Okay, but it's a
No more.
little size,
Yeah.
So we did get this, boy, it's nice here. It's right on the
Suitable for Frank.
Beautiful. Do we frame me? I'll put them in the file.
we've gotten them over the years, so, yeah.
You don't frame them, they take too much space. Okay, very good. No, good for everybody for their efforts to maintain that for this low property insurance. We get it regularly and I think that's cool. That's really good. And we have people that are really conscious about keeping themselves safe and our property and good for bear and we appreciate it. Yeah.
I think this board is doing great and stuff, because we get home a little earlier than past history.
Well, the staff will-
Well, that's because we started an hour earlier.
I know. Good move.
Operations board?
Okay, thank you. Board, for December. We replaced the PLC mounted module at Denison, failed on the Roberts panel that we did when we did the Denison upgrade, and so
I don't know.
made that not function, so we had to replace that. Continued painting, we had the Main Street PRV, and that's the one that serves the water coming off of Carter Hill all the way south. We bring in clay valve and had that rebuilt and serviced. It's kind of a preventive maintenance thing. At Al's pump station, not the fire pump, but the booster pump that pumps up to Mirmali's tank, that motor failed, so we changed that motor out. Regular fire hydrant maintenance. GSW has mobilized and did test forms for the well project. And we sent in those things, and the well drilling will begin. We're anticipating late January, early February.
Wow.
With that. Mary talked about the tree falling down. Well, we had trees falling down everywhere. So Elgranada Tank 3 site, we had lost power. And our generator, backup generator, had the water pump blew up. So we staff brought in a temporary generator, electrician wired it in. So that all of our people above tank 3 had water through the holiday weekend. And we up Pillsbury's Canyon had a bunch of trees go down. We didn't have any main leak repairs. 2 hydrants that were replaced. EKI is continuing to do submittal reviews and assist on the PN project and the well project. And HCR, we're working with them, just doing the PN tank submittals stuff. And if anybody has any questions.
What's turbidity like in Denison?
For a few days there was like chocolate milk, but we started Denison water treatment plant today.
Oh, cool.
It was running around 30 NTUs.
Wow.
And for a point of reference, before we did the upgrades, we would not be running right now.
Wow.
Because it was only because of the upgrades that the board authorized years ago. It's producing 300 gallons a minute or more.
Wow.
Because we used to have to shut down at 20 NTUs. Now we're allowed to go up to 50.
And is the tank there full up on the hill above it?
No.
Do we keep it full typically?
When Denison's running, it'll be pretty full.
Yeah.
But it was about 2/3.
Yeah.
System will keep it at 2/3 unless we're really pushing that way.
And the flows coming down that canyon, how does that?
Really good. We're averaging around 400 to 450 gallons a minute from the wells.
Wow.
Cool. So.
And do the flows, do we get balanced hydrological, but do we look at the flows coming out of San Vicente Canyon? Do we know that too? How do those flows look? Do you know?
We get balanced hydrologics because give us, they collect data, so we have those.
On both, yeah.
And we sample it. We're sampling it right now, continuing to do our sampling for in case we ever can use it as a source.
Yeah.
So
How does it look, the raw water there?
probably should just go over the balance reports.
Yeah, okay. And is it different, very different from the Denison?
Yes.
Yeah. It's cleaner, isn't it?
There's no horses on Denison.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're deer.
Yeah.
I'll look at the.
We could
reports.
look at the reports.
Yeah, I'll look at the reports. Thank you. Just curious.
Thank you very much.
Can you comment on, Sean, on my edification, perhaps not others on is concerned. In terms of emergency preparedness and our ability to respond to issues. And a storm of this nature, which was 3 days or 4 days of consistent, ugly, windy, and very difficult times, we had a few things happen. How would you say our emergency preparedness, in terms of the processes we have in place, helped us to deal with those? Because I'm not involved, I mean, I'm not in there doing, how does that stuff work for you? Does it work for you? Do you have processes that you use when this kind of weather happens that actually keep you ahead of it versus behind it? I don't know how it works. I mean, it's just tough. I'm just asking.
I mean, we get storms every year. And staff spends a lot of time, Lisa puts together where we do quarterly meetings and we do a lot of hypotheticals. We
Okay.
go through exercises, preparing for this stuff, and we throw out a lot of what ifs. That's part of my job is to make sure that, but preparing for Mother Nature is very difficult. We all know that. So, I felt that staff handled it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
we have our standby generator. We don't normally plan on our standby generator failing.
Right.
And that creates a second emergency on top of the emergency that we were already going through. And that's really hard to recoup.
Right.
They had power the very next day. I think that shows how
Right.
wonderful our staff was and how quickly we performed. We had an electrician out there on Christmas Day working. That's excellent. And as a customer of some other utilities, and I happen to live on rural property, I don't see next day,
No,
you know, and day of service. I've been without power for 3 or 4 days, and to not have water would be really difficult. Most of our situations, we have gravity,
well,
but
my reason for the question is simply to make it clear. It was my perception, because this was not the norm.
that's
That things happened that weren't really necessarily part of a quote plan that you just reacted. These were somewhat reactive, some of these things that you had to deal with.
100%.
And the fact that you did, and as quickly as you were able to, was again a statement to the good work that you do. I mean, I don't know how you did it. I mean, I in that weather and that kind of inclement stuff and what was going on, to be able to get people out on Christmas Day, to get generators in when and then you didn't plan to ever have out. That's, to me, is pretty remarkable. I just thought there'd be a lot more hassle, a lot more stuff that happened that couldn't get done, and that we would have had a lot more problems than we did. So I was very surprised in some ways that we were able to cope with all this. No matter how well you plan, you can't plan for everything. And I just think this was sort of really extraordinary, personally. And I wasn't there, but that's what I feel.
Well, if I can say, I mean, we do have an extraordinary staff. And we not only had our on-call out there, we had our other operators out there. Jack was out there. Everybody was helping each other. I do think the relationships, getting the electrician, I think we had
Who was the
other,
electrician?
Charles Electric.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
Dan, okay, he's a generator guy, yeah, okay, I was kind of guessing. Was him.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, but we just getting, having the relationships to get this work done. And I think, the staff was prepared to, be spending the night, Christmas night.
No, I just want to be
But
clear.
they were able to, they were able to get the generator running and everything, so everything worked. But it was, a series of things between the wind and the rain, and I think we did a tremendous job.
I think, well, it's important to just make it clear that it's not a walk in the park.
It is not.
What was achieved was really quite remarkable, and I'm really proud that we're on a utility that somehow or other gets it done and kept people in water, which is the critical thing we deliver. So what can I say? I mean, it's just, I knew there was stuff going on, and I got a taste of that from some of the messaging, but I was just really wondering how you guys do it, frankly.
And we live in a community where everybody knows we're isolated. Our electricians on the coast, and so they know, and we have relationships with them. All of our contractors, we have their after hours numbers, so we're prepared for it.
Good.
However, that stuff.
Thanks for the update. I just wanted to get that in the paper.
Very well.
Appreciate it.
So, yeah, thanks for pointing that out for the community to see as a whole, to get stuff done here.
Okay, so I think that's it for the open session, correct? And now,
Director, agenda items and request for future board.
oh, I'm sorry, regular agenda item, request for future board meeting.
Let's have one next month.
Yeah. Anything for that? Okay, nothing on the table there. And then I'm gonna ask us to move into closed session.
Yeah, the board at 7:25, and the board's gonna convene into closed session. public employee performance evaluation pursuant to California Government Code Section 54957, titled General Manager. Now convene into closed session.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Are we on?